on Coffee Talk today, I'm going to be talking a little bit about a question I get a lot, which is naming the moves. It seems like everybody thinks that they have the right name, or that they have to have a name for every move. First of all, I mean, the moves, belly dance moves technically don't have any names, you know. Belly dancers just do them, somebody else copies it. But we name them so we can remember, you know. We name them for teaching purposes. But, you know, it's just like everything else. When you see the rules or when you see the names and the rules come after people do something, you know. We bring those rules to it so we can organize it, or we bring the names so we can, you know exactly what we're referring to when we talk, you know, as a group of people that's interested in learning the art of belly dance. So really, you shouldn't be focusing too much on the names. I use some names of some moves for fun. Sometimes, you know, there's a move that reminds me of something, and I'll say, oh, I'll call it that. It's easy to remember, you know. So we use them to, you know, to remember also the moves. When I said the M and O move, for example, that I taught you guys before, you know that you're drawing the letter M and then the letter N and then the letter O. When I taught you a name I called a typewriter, you know that it looks like a typewriter, you know, and back, and back, stuff like that. So we name them to remember, we name them to refer other people so they know what we're talking about, and for teaching purposes. But don't worry too much about it. And if you guys notice, a lot of the combinations, I'm not naming combinations, and we have like over 200 combinations on the website right now. I can't name every single one of them because then it will defeat the purpose of remembering. There will be just too many. And a lot of those combinations will use a lot of the same moves, the basic moves. So I like to just know or name the combination, if you notice on the website, is based on the moves that are involved. So I would say there is this move and this move and this move put together. And then I'll show you how we put them together and what kind of beat we're working with here. And that's going to change all the time, just depending on the music. So don't really think that you can name everything, because if you, I mean, first of all, combinations are endless. You can be creative when it comes to combinations forever. And anybody and everybody can create a combination. So how many names are we going to be dealing with? There are basic moves that we use in every combination. Now, those a lot of people have named, and it's nice to have those names because it really does help us know what moves to refer to. Or, so what I'm telling you guys, here's a combination, I'm telling you, oh, there's this move in that combination. You know, so it's easier to name technique moves, basic technique moves, than to name combos, okay? And it's easier, of course, to name the choreographies because we're naming them after songs. But when it comes to the names of the technique or the basic moves, there isn't a standard vocab out there. And you know, every dancer has their own names. You know, there are some names that are more common than others. So we have the Egyptian shimmy, we have the tutu shimmy, you know, we have the omi, we have the figure eights, and things like that are common because those are the core movements of belly dance, and you get hip drops, kicks, stuff like that. So those things are core, and you gotta know them, and so it's easy to name them, so we can know what to refer to as basic move. So I would say those, yes, maybe know the names, and there are really not like a million names that those same moves could go with. So, you know, there may be like 2-3 different names for the same move. But amongst those 2-3 different names, there will be like one that's the most common that most people use. So we'll use that a lot on our website, of course. But then if there is another name for it, maybe I'll just throw it in the video and tell you it's known as this, but I will just go always with the common name because, you know, we can communicate on a larger level. And unfortunately, the art of belly dance is kind of a new art to the West and to teaching in general. Most belly dancers have always danced and hardly ever taught. So teaching belly dance is really relatively a new thing. You might not think so because you see everybody teaching around it, but it really is quite a new thing. So we haven't agreed on the names. And then also you have, the art comes from a completely different part of the world, but taught mostly in a completely different part of the world. So it's really hard to communicate there. And, you know, people in Egypt might call a move certain thing, and then here it's called something else, in France they call something else, whatever. So it's really hard to standardize. And a lot of it is really because the art of belly dance and teaching the art of belly dance, as I said, is quite new. The art itself, it's not, but the teaching part is. And so we haven't created enough, you know, a standard vocab yet. Whereas you go to ballet or jazz or ballroom, and every dancer that does those dances knows the exact same moves by the exact same name. They don't have 10 different names for the same move. So I think, you know, in belly dancing, we eventually going to reach that level. And I think the way we're going to do that is by not using the less common names. Let's use the more common names, make them even more common, and so everybody can start to just use that one name, and eventually, of course, that will be the name for the move. So that's one way to do it, and that's the way I like to do it, because if we get to sit around and argue about what we should name a move, we will never move on. And it's a silly thing, it's stupid, it really is. We're doing something that we love and we want to do it. We don't want to like spend our time worrying about how we're going to name it, all right? So I think that's really honestly the best thing to do, and I'm saying this not just to my students, but I'm also saying to other instructors. If we all use the same terminology and stay with the same name, then eventually we'll have some sort of a standard vocab. Anybody can go ahead and create a standard vocab. You can say, well, this is a standard. Well, that's a standard up to you. But there isn't really even a source that you can go to and say, okay, this move means this and this move. Somebody could create it. Maybe I could when they create it. Maybe I should, because someone really should step it up and do that to help this art. But in the meantime, I think if we don't have that, just know what the different names and always know the common one. Don't just go by the name that you like, because people sometimes like, oh, I like that move and it's called this and this, and oh, I like that name better, I'm gonna go with that. Don't. Go with the most common one, because you can be understood, you can get along in different classes with the teacher because then you know what the teacher is talking about, and it will be easier for you to teach that art to other people as well in the future. Okay, and to find the moves that you're looking for, whether you're searching online on YouTube or whatever, using that same common name all the time will help. So that's just my little advice to everybody out there. But we're far away from a standard vocab, unfortunately, in belly dancing. But we'll get there. It's, as I said, it's a new art to the world of teaching, and it will eventually catch up with the rest of the world one day. Okay, so that's just my a little word on that for those of you who've been asking. I'll see you guys next time. Make sure you keep checking our website. It's freebellydanceclasses.com. See you next time. Bye.